What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Cheap Sense here. My collar is falling down. But anyway, I was tagged in a video, had to be at least maybe a week or so ago, and you'll never believe who tagged me in a video. John Castro, aka the original Dogman. Yes, me and this young man hashed out our differences. We got on the phone, we talked like two grown men, and there was a lot of misunderstanding in what was going on. I think the understanding is there. We may not still agree on everything, and we can agree to disagree, but I'm man enough to keep my word and do this tag video. So he wanted me to do this video amongst some other reviewers that did it also, or are going to do it, I'm assuming, of beast mode fragrances. And I have 10, technically 11 with an honorable mention, but let's get into it. So the first honorable mention that I have, well, the only honorable mention, is from the house of Killian, and it is Apple Brandy. And I wore this to work one day when it was cold, when I was still at the hospital. And this is a beast mode type fragrance to me and off of my skin. Now, I know this list I'm going to throw out there, a lot of people are going to agree to disagree or just disagree. This is just my personal opinion of what works for me off of my skin, my body chemistry, and what I know for a fact from wearing worked for me. Apple Brandy smells fantastic. It's a beast mode fragrance. The performance on it is well above average. And that apple and that brandy are very, very apparent in this. And I like it. So that's my honorable mention. Number 10, from the house of Ted Lapidus, is going to Lapidus Pour On. A nuclear type fragrance. When you first spray it on, so you have to be careful with how many sprays you spray this. Now, I've heard people say it's not a performer like it used to be. I can't vouch for that, because a lot of fragrances, when people say reformulation, I have never smelled. I'm only been in the fragrance game for about 3 years. So before that, I really wasn't big on a lot of fragrances. I had some, but not to the extent I have now. But this fragrance, when you first spray it on, is nuclear. When it dries down, I pick up like almost a vanilla type fragrance. It almost is borderline urinal cake-ish, but I like it. It's nice. Ted Lapidus Pour On. Number 10 spot. Number 9 spot goes to the house of Mancera. And this, I believe, is the sample that Ross Carlos from TOTG sent me. And I ended up having 2 samples of it. I don't know where the other one came from. And I'm not even sure if this is the exact one that Ross sent me, because I stuck the other one back. But this is from Mancera. This is the Oud, or Oud, however you want to say it. And this is a beast mode fragrance. When he sent me this and I sprayed it, I fell back in my seat like, wow, that is super strong. This thing will knock you into another dimension if you overspray. You will run people out of a building with this. Beast mode and performance. The scent is super strong. And for them crybabies out there who be crying about fragrances that don't last, then you may want to try some of these in my collection. Maybe you've already tried some, but if they didn't work for you, I don't know what else to tell you. But at the number 9 spot, Mancera, the Oud. Number 8 goes to the house of Nasamato. This is the Barando. And this is a unisex fragrance. This has notes of whiskey, some woody aspects, and something else I can't remember off the top of my big dome, but this is a nice fragrance. I haven't worn or tested this one yet, but I did spray a bit of it on my arm before I did this video just so I can smell it. Scent wise, I can only tell you that this is a pretty good beast mode fragrance so far. Performance, I can't speak for because like I said, I haven't worn it yet, but this is the Barando by Nasamato, number 8. Number 7, from the house of Versace Dylan Blue. And I know some people are going to say, man, Dylan Blue ain't a beast mode fragrance. What is Mr. Cheap Sense talking about? Well, off of my skin, this was super cloying. And I'm not talking about cloying as in sweet cloying. I'm talking about the ambroxan in this will choke out a herd of elephants. I sprayed 7 sprays of this on, and that probably was overkill. But then when I got to my destination, guess what I did? I couldn't smell it anymore, so what do you think I did? I reapplied. And my kids let me know that, Daddy, you smell too strong. Whatever you got on is way too much. So, easy on the trigger on Versace Dylan Blue. Number 6. This one, scent-wise, is not beast mode, but the performance off of my skin with this, it lasted a long time, well above average. It got me a lot of compliments the night I wore it to a local bar here, and it is from the house of Giorgio Armani. It is Aqua de Geo Absolute. And this fragrance gets a lot of hate in the fragrance community. And I guess it's because of the sweetness. They like the flankers to this because it's more woodier. It's probably more masculine. I haven't smelled a lot of those other fragrances, but I love this one. And I love what it got me as far as compliments are concerned. So check this one out also. If you can go to your local Ulta, Belk's, whatever store you have, Nordstrom's, wherever, if they sell this, get your nose on it, try it out, see what you think. Number 5 spot. There are people out there who disagree when it comes to this particular house. And one of the things they disagree on is the fact that you get only a 30 ml bottle for like $60, $65. And I'm not going to argue with them about that. But performance off of my skin with these dual fragrances are superb. I don't have a complaint about them personally. And people get bent out of shape when you don't agree with them about certain things. And personally, the House of Dior is a very good fragrance company, clone house, whatever you want to call it. And this is one of my hands down favorites from this house. It is Casino Royal Nights. And this thing is a powerhouse. Super sweet. It does, I believe, remind me kinda of Baccarat Rouge 540. But it's not as loud or as super sweet as, to me, it's not as Baccarat Rouge 540. I would much rather wear this over Baccarat Rouge 540. That's just my personal opinion. I think Baccarat Rouge 540 is a little... I love sweet fragrances, but I think that is a little bit too much for me. And this is perfect. This one also got me super compliments the day I wore it. I was walking down the hallway towards the cafeteria, and everybody I passed made a comment. Even the young lady, when I was cleaning the carpet in her office, asked me what I was wearing, and she wanted to get her husband some. So Dior Casino Royal Nights is a beast mode fragrance, well above average off of my skin. And I love it. So that's at the number 5 spot. Number 4 is going to go to a house that is very familiar to people in the fragrance community, the house of Gerland or Gerland. And this one was a sleeper for me because I found it at TJ Maxx. in Florida. And I was not really, I don't know much about Gerland. I didn't at the time. And I saw this when it was in a gift set. And I kept spraying it, letting people walk past, and whoever I could, get in an earshot of asking a question to, I asked them if they liked it. And there were 3 people. It was a guy, his wife, and I think it was the mother-in-law or mother, whoever it was. And I asked them, did they like this? And they all smelled it. And all 3 of them said that they liked it. And that's what made me buy it. And this one is L'Instant de Gerland pour Homme Eau de Parfum. And I love this juice. I have an old head. Well, I had an old head that used to work at the hospital. And I came in one day, and this is probably the first time he ever commented me on a cologne. I came into the equipment room, and he smelled me when I walked past him, and he asked me what I was wearing. And he said, man, I'm going to have to, you know how people be bullshitting you when it comes to certain things. They say, oh, man, I'm going to stop by and get that from you. Or yeah, man, hold that for me, and I'll get it from you later. He said, man, I'm going to have to get you to get me some of that. I just shrugged it off and kept going because I knew he was lying. But anyway, this is a great fragrance. It smells woody. I just love the scent profile of this. People will notice you when you're wearing this. Do not overspray with this. Also, this is well above average in performance off of my skin. And if you see this somewhere and you can get it for a decent price, I think it's worth the pickup. Check that out. That's the number 4 spot. Number 3 is going to a car company. And I'm pretty sure by now you all know, because I speak highly of this fragrance. Beast mode in performance off of my skin. And it is from the house of Bentley. This is Bentley for Men Intense. You talking about boozy, tobacco-y smelling. It smells like something expensive. Like you should be driving a big boy Bentley. Me, I feel like Rick Ross when I got this on. I already got the beard like him anyway, but great, fantastic fragrance. Well above average in performance off of my skin. And I highly recommend this. You can get this for like $20, $25, maybe $30. You never know with all the hype that's going on in FragCom and people talking about fragrances like we do. Sometimes we tend to drive the price up because you all run out and buy so much of this stuff. But Bentley for Men Intense at the number 3 spot. This is probably going to piss some people off because this fragrance probably should be in the number 1 spot, but I didn't really care. I was just grabbing stuff and going with the flow. This one is from the house of Dior. Excuse me. And this is Dior Homme Intense. And Dior makes some fantastic fragrances. And I can't speak for the new line, but this stuff is well above average performance. Smells fantastic. Compliment getter. I have nothing bad to say about this fragrance whatsoever. Beast mode off of my skin. I can't speak for anybody else, but it just is what it is, guys. So that's the number 2 spot, which I think people are going to say this should have been number 1. But my number 1 fragrance, and I'm pretty sure y'all can guess what it is because I talk about this one constantly. I like it over the fragrance that it is a clone of. And it gets me compliments every time I wear it. I've got more compliments with this versus Creed Aventus. And I've never gotten a compliment with Creed Aventus. But this is Club de Nuit Intense, man. This is hands down my absolute favorite beast mode fragrance. I know a lot of people in the past have been having performance issues. Me, on the other hand, I don't have those issues when it comes to this fragrance. Lots of compliments. This lasts on my skin 8+ hours, no problem, no reapplication. That's just me, guys. That's all I can speak for is me. So at the #1 spot, Club de Nuit Intense, man. So good that I have a backup bottle. And no, I haven't smelled the Eau de Parfum concentration of it. I'm satisfied with this one. I don't care. I'm good. It is what it is. All right, y'all. So shout out once again to John Castro, aka Original Dogman, for the shout out. Hope this video satisfies you, my friend. If at any point in time you feel like tagging me again, feel free to do so. I'm out of here, y'all. Here is to smelling great. Peace.